Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another Last Epoch dev stream. I am your host, Mike. Hello. How you doing? Good to see y'all. How's it going today? We're going to hop right back in. We are in the middle of doing the Spirits of Fire monolith. We're going to try and finish this timeline, get this boss knocked out today. It is quite warm in here. Oh, my camera's facing a little low. Whoop. There we go. Okay. There was a question here before I showed up. That's alright, we'll answer it anyways. Can we get some info on how the new throwing skills will be? There's one new throwing skill coming for next patch. What do you want to know about it? I don't think we've teased it or anything, other than me saying that it's going to exist. Can you tell us about it? What does it look like? Well, a projectile will appear from your character and it will travel across the screen as thrown. There's no new rogue skills next patch, so I don't know if I told you what class it was on, but it's not on rogue. No, we get the throwing weapons question a lot. We have no intention of adding specific weapons with flat added throwing damage on them. It's not a never thing, but it's not planned at all. This ability does get special damage bonuses with wielding a specific type of weapon, though, just inherently. So it kind of does, I guess. We're kind of giving you throwing weapons this patch, I guess. What's the official release date for Last Epoch? We don't have one, because it is when it's ready. We want to make sure we get everything just so before it comes out. And I mean, really, once multiplayer's out and with the content we already have, it's like the line between released and not is starting to blur. In a good way. I know I'm already, like, whenever I sit down to play it, I'm already like, wow, like, it's a game, which is pretty cool. What would you say the thing is that most differentiates the new throwing skill from other Sentinel throwing skills? I think there's more potential for single target damage. I think there's more potential for CC. I think there's more potential for mobility as well. I mean, you think you got me, but I never actually said it was a Sentinel skill. It's just, like, I could describe those same differences between any throwing skill and any Sentinel skill. So that's what the hesitation was of, like, how can I answer this? Can I tell you what the numbers limit on Wraith is going to be next patch? No, because I don't know off the top of my head. Like, compared to, I'm going to say this, I don't say this lightly, compared to the ridiculously high number of Wraiths you can get with all of the tricks that people have to get an insane number of Wraiths, it's very low, okay? Compared to the number of Wraiths that most people get when playing the skill, it's not much different, I don't think. So it's more going after the edge cases, which I know it's a lot of fun to get the edge cases to work really well and everything, but it's just the performance that it tanks is just too heavy to really let it stay. And I think everyone really assumed that was the case and was going to happen. Maybe not. I know I saw a lot of people who had build guides or whatever on it that mentioned in the build guide that's like, this is gonna wreck your performance. We also have fewer. I don't think we have a Rhymer today, but there's another playtest happening right now, which is great. It's quite warm in here again. My goodness. I'm glistening. Doctor. It's kind of a meh belt. I hope LE has a bright future. Maybe even in the very late future, will ever see LE2. I mean, we're not planning LE2 yet. It's a little early. But we have no intentions of slowing down, and if we're still going strong, by the time a sequel seems natural, I'd be on board with making a sequel. I mean, it's so far away though. That, like, ooh. Yeah. Talking about performance. Will they get better with updates on performance? Yeah, like we have performance fixes every patch. Sometimes they're little things. I don't think this is actually in the game yet. I think it happened right after last patch. But I saw a patch note come down from Trisoki that just said dramatically improved the performance of gold, like gold drops. Which is a funny patch note to see, and I mentioned it before, but like there's little things like that can cause big performance gains, and also as we're going through things and creating multiplayer, we're taking another look at almost every aspect of the game, and we're keeping performance in mind when we're doing it and trying to improve things there as well. So yeah, performance is a very important thing that gets looked at whenever we're doing anything, really. As we're reworking a bunch of skills, and there's some significant performance gains on some of those skills that just sort of happen because you take another look at it and you notice something. Any teasers today? Yeah, I've got a couple things lined up. Nothing huge. I'd be willing to talk about and possibly accidentally tease things with regards to 2 new skills that were teased: the multi-strike and void cleave. But I've got a little video that just I don't think we've shown it to you guys, and I'm so sorry if we have. I lose track of all the things we show. Do you have plans to integrate more kinds of progression game mechanics into LE? Yes. For example, currently there is character progression, story progression, arena levels, echo maps. Any more planned? Yeah, definitely. I mean, there is, like, I guess it's part of character progression a little bit, but, like, blessings is a form of progression in a sense as well, and that's tied into the monolith, I think. But we do have other endgame systems that will be progressible, and we do have other axes upon which we're planning on progressing. There's, like, some crazy screen tearing happening here, and I have no idea why. So I tried to turn on some settings at the beginning of this, and I think I may have ruined it, guys. I'm sorry. I was mucking about in my settings. Shouldn't have touched it. Because I had to reset all my settings recently. Had a little computer scare. Everything's fine. The old girl just won't quit. Yeah, there are, sorry, the other progression axes. Yes, there are some other ones. I can't really describe it without describing stuff that we're not ready to describe yet, so sorry. Have you seen any surprising behavior from multiplayer testers that wasn't possible with single player? Nothing surprising. Just little things like there was a build that went out recently where I a set of enemies was extremely overtuned, and it was really difficult, even with like out multiplayer scaling. You get 4 people in there, and it was really tough, just like that. So we had groups that were going out in with 3 primalists, all with Eterra's Blessing, and it was like, so there was behavior we were seeing before, but like stuff that we expected to see. All right, so regarding the necro changes that were posted yesterday, will we see any more passive changes come from the patch other than minimal power increases based on level and the skeleton penetration? Yeah, the specific changes called out in that dev blog is a snippet of the changes that are happening, not an exhaustive description of all of them. Speaking of performance updates, any chance we see the big improvements to batching? I do not know if that's coming this patch or not. I'm sorry. It's full of I don't knows today. What's wrong with me, right? Will last Epoch get in-game microtransactions like cosmetics? Yes, we do have a cosmetics system planned. It is like there's already mini pets that you can have through supporter packs. We do intend to have other cosmetics. Really clear that it is cosmetics, and we're calling it a cosmetic store, and cosmetic coins and cosmetic transactions. Like it's not. There's never going to be any pay to win or pay for convenience or pay for power or any of those things. I know all of you have heard me say that so many times, but every time it gets asked, I have to say it just in case someone new is listening that assumes the worst. Which would be totally fair to assume the worst in most cases, I think. Oh, this might hurt. No, not bad. Cool. That works. What do you think about Fidelity FX? I think it's real cool. We're not at the stage of integrating specific features like that from video card manufacturers. And also, a lot of those things come with reliance on HDRP, which we don't use. We've got our first sub of the day. Ooh, is it a whole bunch of them? It's a whole bunch of them. An actual Typhoon has gifted 5 subs to the channel. Thank you very much. We are cruising along towards our goal here. This is our last day for the American Foundation of Suicide Prevention. They are a organization here. If it's the first time to stream, we all of our stream proceeds go to charity. Just straight pass it along. We do a new charity every month, and we're right at the end of the month, so this is our last one for this charity. And congrats if you got one of those subs. There's some cool emotes you can do, I think. One of them's me, I think. Alright, this is the only game that makes video, like Twitch streams, on my second monitor lag when I play a game. Is the same for a friend of mine. Is this a known issue? Yes, it is a... it's because your CPU's working real hard, I think. That's probably what that is. That's related to the question that one of the vets asked earlier. Lone Star McFluffin asked it. Are you planning on changing the way passive points are repicked? Yes, because the way clicking the dialogue is quite rubbish. I agree. It sucks. It's not in this patch yet. It is definitely something we're gonna do. I think the thing everyone sort of assumes that it would be is you go into like a respec mode and you can like right click to remove something and left click to add something. I don't have any points, so I can't accidentally do it. So you'd right click to remove, left click to add, and it would tell you if you're in a legal state and how much it's going to cost to respec. And then at the end, once you're in a legal state and you've got the amount of money you need, you can confirm it, and it'll do the whole transaction all at once. And I think that everyone just kind of expects that's the way it should be, and that is the way it should be, and we'll get there. We will get there. Oh. Oh, 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 oh. Where are we going? We're going to do the quests. We're going to fight the boss. Are you ready? Am I standing up? I am standing up. Woo. I have a gorgeous standing desk. I spent forever researching it. I love it. I'm very particular about my desks. The tabletop of the desk has to be really thin. So like my tabletop desk is about that thin, which is not terrible, but you know it's got to be quite large as well. Like it's, I don't know, what is that, 5.5 feet? Why does Ellie struggle with performance in some areas? Because there is, usually it's related to the enemies that are in that area. Not always, but it's just performance problems that we need to fix. We're working on them. Ooh, what's this? That's not terrible. I think we have a pretty sweet chest though. I started crafting it last time. That's right, desecrated flesh. Run away in fear. So you said on stream, only one of the following things is true. And in this list, there was dungeons and gold, will a currency for trading. You kind of confirmed both recently. What am I supposed to believe now? I think you should go back and rewatch that clip very carefully. That's what I think. I mean, I play on Ultra, but I cap at 144 FPS and barely dip. I've never had another game lag my second monitor video even once. Oh. I'm not sure what's causing it then. Sounds like you have an incredibly powerful rig, though. Have you thought, instead of league seasons, that players can do everything in 1 month and after quit to wait for the next one, like PoE, have expansions with more mods or more upgrades to keep people playing more? Have expansions with more mods or more upgrades. I mean, those things kind of come with seasons and leagues as well, right? Like it's more about. I guess there's two ways of doing it. There's the, like, you can do expansions, I guess, kind of like a WoW style, where like you keep the same character and you just do the new content for it. And I think that really changes the like it implies a different type of content. If that makes any sense, where the core progression is less in like. You're less incentivized to make new characters. You're generally sticking with one main character, and if you're really into it, you have a few. Flashbacks to the days where you have 6 characters on full raid lockout, and anyways, I think there's a combination of both things that happen anyways. Like, we're gonna have lots more mods and lots more upgrades and all those sorts of things that come with every one of the cycles anyways. We've watched that clip very carefully. You definitely lied to us. I don't know. I was really careful, and I don't think I did. I'd be willing to admit if I'm wrong, and someone can link me the clip after this, and I'll take another peek at it and make sure. But or maybe we can watch it together if you want. Yeah, like someone link me the clip, and we'll bring it up and we'll watch it. "100% lies. You under-promised in that clip and over-delivered afterwards." I mean, that's the best kind of lies, isn't it? But I don't think I lied. I don't think I did. I should go to the direction of the two of them first. There's one right here. Just walking past it. "Hey, since you are a dev yourself, is Wilson really that bad design law?" I don't really want to go in depth on Wilson stuff. Every game has good and bad things about it. And I'd rather not go in depth on specific negative things in another game. If you want me to talk about things I like about other games, sure, but I'm not going to sit here and be mean. I think they have a lot of really positive things they do, and I don't think any game's perfect. Oh, okay. As I said that, and I'm like, what about Breath of the Wild? That was pretty perfect. What about Diablo 2? That was pretty close too. Which class is this? This is a Necromancer. I am playing a Necromancer. Here's my trees really quick. You can pause and go back if you want. I guess I can go through this really quick. Just long enough to pause and keep it. This is Volatile Zombie as the main source of active summoning. I've got Ice Archers, Ice Mages, and then Warriors for a little bit of melee. And Transplant for mobility and Dreadshade for extra deeps when I need it. But I haven't needed it in a while. Is this new Necro stuff? It is not. This is the live version of the game. I'm playing on exactly what you guys have access to. About 10 minutes before the stream, I realized that I was still set on our multiplayer branch. And I'm like, oh god. Good thing Steam has fast internet. What am I doing? Just walking right past things, aren't I? So good at this, guys. If I just played on the multiplayer branch, I wouldn't tell anyone. Yeah. Well, I wouldn't. First off, I wouldn't be able to play this character, so I'd be playing a level like, what, 21 character, I think, at this point. We've been doing the multiplayer tests at the same time as these streams, so I've missed out on a couple. I got left behind. No, it's coming along great. Quite happy with it. Hello. Ooh, body armor. What's this? I love that the rock falls to the ground wherever it was. So neat. So neat. You can't find old clips for a streamer who's live? I mean, I could probably find it pretty easily because they recorded in streaming tools. Nope. Content, clips I've created, clips of my channel. Someone name it like lies. Nope. I don't know when it was. I feel like it would be a clip that has a decent number of views on it, probably. Good job, Mike. No, that's probably not it. I don't know when I said it, and I don't know. Sorry, I can't find it quickly either myself. Someone else finds it though. Are cosmetics gonna be skins and stuff? Yeah, yeah. They'll be. We're planning cosmetics for all sorts of things. So, new ways that your character looks. Like replacing individual pieces of gear, visuals, pets. Skill MTX as well. You can get a really good feel for what it's going to be right here. Ooh, that kind of hurts. So like, you can see the different categories of what we're planning, right? Invisibility MTX. Like so you look naked, or so that your character looks invisible? All right. Whew. Let's. Do we want to do this? I don't think we do. I don't think there's any reason to do this. I think the armor shred is so much better. Yeah. Boardman did a video where he used the clip. Yeah. Find that. We'll watch it. I don't think there's anything that I can really do to bump up my power before this boss fight. I don't think I need to either. I say, like, that's not fractured, but, like, okay, let's go look at it and see what the fracture chance is. Do LE res, 41%. Yeah, I'm just going to brick that if I do it. $22. I need new boots to craft on. I really need new boots. Like, those are great boots, but I need boots that are like that, just at base. I think I want those exact boots. Okay. We're just cranking damage. Right? Crit chance. We'll do crit chance. Here we go. Oh, sweet Jesus. Oh, good golly. Thank you, someone. I appreciate it. Whatever it is, I appreciate it. That was a good sound. Whoa, don't stand in the fire. Pro player tips from Mike. Don't stand in the fire. Woo. Get him, guys. Good job. I'll be over here. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we like to see that. Mid-range, it's okay. We will take it, though. Baldur's Wrath. I love this weapon. That was surprisingly easy. I think we're going into Empowered, aren't we? Bwah, 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 bwah. Bwah, 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 bwah. You guys couldn't hear the sound effect, but that's what it did. Sweet. Alright, let's go back. Let's go back here and do this so we can unlock the other direction. So if people are seeing lag issues, I'm sorry. It's actually my computer not encoding properly. It is a streaming thing, not a game thing. It might be the game making me not stream well, but it looks great for me. The price of MTX will be astronomical, like in PoE? Question mark. For example, almost 100 euros for a set? Question mark. It's we haven't defined exactly how much each piece will be. We know that there's a difference because so there's they don't have a sticker price on their game. Like you can start playing PoE for free, and there is no baseline cost. Now there's a debate on whether or not there's certain things that are mandatory or whatever, but they're not actually mandatory. You can play without doing anything else, and because of that, there's the distinction of being able to do certain MTX things for like stash tabs that aren't really that make sense still, I guess you could say. That we're definitely not going to do because we have a sticker price. So it's sort of like there's the trade-off right there. We do also know that because we have a sticker price, it is a little different just for cosmetics in general of how much they need to cost. So we're going to look at how much do we want cosmetics to cost, where they can still reliably fund the long-term development of the game, but also be a fair price. And like I feel like I've said this a few times, and I might be saying it a little bit wrong here, but I don't think so. We want you to feel that you're paying a fair price for cosmetics. That's the goal. We don't know what that number is yet, and I'm sure it'll be different for different sizes of cosmetics. So like something that, I don't know, changes your boots to be red would probably be cheaper than something that completely changed your entire character's look and added a ton of new VFX and a sweet new emote or something. I don't know. Like, yeah. Found it. Want me to link it in chat? Can you drop it in? I don't know if you're gonna get like muted in chat if you link it or not. I feel like you should be fine. Link it in chat, see what happens. I'm sorry if you get muted. you will. I did. Okay. Just pop it in the general channel in Discord, in the CT channel. I've got that open right now. Where I just pinged you. Oh, you already dropped it. You beat me to it. Of this, here's what I'm gonna do. Okay. Can I do this and then bring it over? No, I can't. That's okay. There's nothing there, I don't think. I am going to give you 5 statements. And I'm going to mute this while this is happening, sorry. I'm going to give you 5 statements. And I'm realizing that my face is like covering the version of me talking in game, isn't it? Okay, now you get 2 of me. Here we go. One of them is true. Of this, here's what I'm going to do. I am going to give you 5 statements. And I'm going to mute this while this is happening, sorry. I'm going to give you 5 statements. So like 8 times
One of
now.
them is true. Of this, here's what I'm going to do.
What's going on? Oh, it was just repeating. Okay. If that's the whole thing, that's not. I did not lie at all. If that's the evidence. If that's it, we're in the clear. I did not lie. Yeah, okay. No, McFluffin, look, so if I say, here's 3 statements, one of these is true, 1 + 1 is 2, 1 + 2 is 3, 1 + 8 is 52 million. One of those statements is true, and another one of those statements is also true, but saying that one of them is true doesn't mean that 2 of them can't be true. No lie. Mike, no lie. No lie. Weird reference, Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Hiding behind semantics? Of course! I'm gonna be tricky and half sneaky small stuff? Of course I'm hiding behind semantics. Oh, you better believe it. Man, I can argue all sorts of weird points that you guys think would be insane. I know it was sneaky, and I'm sorry, guys. I apologize. Wasn't my idea. I wasn't gonna do it. And then I got just sent the list, and I'm like, all of these things could be true, Judd. It's still possible. Lone Star, you still have 1 blueberry muffin. You also have a 2nd blueberry muffin. Yeah, you have to put the word only in there. Or exactly. Last Epoch's cool features. Each class has 3 specialization subclass, full of passive skills. Each active skill has its own. Yeah. That's just cool stuff. I agree. That's all cool stuff. When can we play as a party? Will we have XP loot bonuses or other stuff? There won't be XP loot bonuses. The loot's all like solo loot. So like you get your own loot, and your buddy gets his own loot, and your other buddy gets their own loot, and everything. So it's just there's no need for a loot bonus in games like D2 when there's group loot. Lone Star, if you want to go through this, I am happy to go through it later. Here. These are magic cards. I am holding one swamp. That is a true statement. I am holding one swamp. At the very least, I did deceive you. That is true. I deceived you in the most horrible way possible. I will give you leaks. Sorry, I'm finishing the thought earlier. Ooh. That's pretty sweet. That was a nice find, I think. That's worth keeping around. Sorry, I was saying earlier, games like Diablo 2, when they have loot that is group loot, it's important to drop more stuff because you're competing with everyone else there for that loot. And it also drops better stuff as well. So it's there's that bonus for having multiple people there because you're sharing it. Funny enough, it only went up on the odd numbers, so like 2 didn't actually change, but 3 did. 4 didn't actually change, but 5 did. It was weird. Anyways, because we have instance loot, so each person gets their own gear. You're not competing with anyone else for it, so it can be the same amount. And that also means that we don't have to balance it. We don't have to worry about like. Is it better to play in a group because you get more stuff and things like that? Yeah. Thank you very much, Ozmax, for the resub, 2nd month. Awesome. And also thank you to Jespar4242 that I missed while I was watching that clip. What do I think about making loot filter rules shareable with group members, friends, and multiplayer? I think it's a neat idea. I think it would be easier to have just like instead of just sending filters. Maybe we could do it where we send filters directly to people, like just share this filter with a friend, and just copies the whole filter. I think sending individual rules might be a little weird. We'll see though. We had talked about, I don't know if we're gonna do this or not, but when we were originally designing the loot filter system. So this export button, instead of it just being an export, because this is we settled for this when we were making it because it was a really big patch and there was a ton to do. But we wanted to have a loot filter browser, I guess you could say. So like, you know how a lot of games have like mod browsers in game where there's like I guess like the workshop, Steam Workshop, I guess does it too, where you can. What am I missing? This guy's still alive. He ran away in fear. Where you could have community members upload their loot filters and with a description and say like, here's my loot filter. That's part of the reason why there is a description field there. Because you can write down what the filter is for pretty easily in a one line when it's for yourself to remember. But there's this big description field that kind of goes unused a lot. And that was so that if we did a loot filter browser system where people could like share their filters, people could read what they were for, and there could be descriptions describing it, and also there would be like a rating system, so you could be like you could filter by Necromancer filters, and it would be like this is the 4.8 star Necromancer filter, and it's good for these things, you know. I think that would be more useful overall than being able to share rules with your friends. But there's a possibility that we could do either. Offering more experience to play in groups builds community and gives people a reason to not solo everything. This is one of the best things D2 did right with the multiplayer where games like PoE fails. There is a good reason to do that, you're right. There's a lot of people that would be very upset if we did that, though. We want to create incentives for people to play together because it's more fun, not because it's going to be faster. Or not because you're going to get better rewards, but just because it's fun to play with your friends. Like, that's what we want like, I'm playing multiplayer because it's fun and I enjoy it. Oh my god, my army got absolutely obliterated. Okay, guys, we're into Empowered, and my build's kind of falling apart. I'm going to have to start dread shading stuff more. Oh my god, my minions need health. What is going on? My sweet, sweet min... Oh, my health! Oh my! The chances of me dying here are really high. Good golly! We got a challenge on our hand, boys and girls. Is there a plan to still scale up enemies? I think that's what it said in multiplayer. Yeah, enemies will get scaling for sure. The key thing that they'll be is harder to kill, which does in turn scale damage. In a sense. I thought that was going to hurt more than it did. Jeez. We're not planning on scaling damage output directly because your defenses... we want characters to be able to flip between single player and multiplayer. And your defenses are defined as... They need to be like the same for both, if that makes any sense. So we don't want you to have to be like, this is my multiplayer setup of gear because it has more defenses. This is my single player setup of gear because it has more offense. You know, like, ow, my face is hurting. All the blood that it's been spurting is blocking my eyesight.
Alright, Mike, time to get the whole ass out.
Yeah, it's time to get the whole ass out is right. That's probably why I shouldn't play Empowered, because I am significantly less interactive with you guys right now. I feel like I'm missing stuff. Why'd the game get so hard, guys? Oh. I love it. I love it. Ooh, stuff. Prism wraps. I think those are prism wraps. Only on screen for a second, but the art looked familiar. Okay, is the plan wait, I love LE leaderboards. It makes me want to play the game more. Sweet, me too. I love them. We're gonna make more leaderboards so there's more cool things to play for, not just the arena. Which I think is what everyone's doing in multiplayer right now.
Oh, hot, 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 hot.
Yeah. Okay. Look at that. Oh, that was so easy. What is everyone talking about? That was so easy. Oh, please, 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 mono leaderboard soon. Yeah, that's something we got to get going on. It's not built yet. I would love to slap that bad boy in. Maybe Trisoki will get bored this weekend. Okay. Is the plan still not to scale up enemy damage with multiplayer? Yes. Will active skill defenses work as a penalty when applied to other players? I don't think so. Well, we may have to do a little bit of balancing there. Like, there might be certain skills where they have reduced effectiveness on other players. That's possible. I don't know. We'll see. Or maybe we might nerf them and give them bonus usage on minions type thing. That's more likely, I would say. It's always better to have like the baseline and then the better case rather than have the baseline and the worst case. Shouldn't say always. Most of the time it is. Oh. Wow. I love the spires here. This is nutty. This is nutty. Look at this. It's just getting obliterated. What? I'm over here. Leave my minions alone. Will you play Diablo 2 Resurrected? I don't know. I'll have time. It is one of my favorite. Like, eventually I will, I'm sure. It's one of my favorite games of all time. I can never really pick a all-time favorite, like, outright, but it's always in the conversation. So I'll definitely play it at some point. And working on a game in this genre, it would probably be irresponsible not to. As well. At least that's what I'll tell myself. To justify playing it. And the guys working on it, the guys that did like Tony Hawk Remaster, did such a good job on that I feel like they can really handle it. I didn't get a chance to play any of the alpha beta stuff. Yeah, you probably fell in love with ARPGs and made LE because of Diablo 2. Yes. Specifically Diablo 2. I'm a little young for Diablo 1. My parents were not pleased that I was even remotely interested in it. They may not have known, actually, come to think of it. I think my dad might be watching, too. Sorry. Oh, the graphics were so bad, you couldn't tell what was going on anyways, right? Oh. Okay, I gotta get them to move ahead of me. Yeah, there we go. This is working great. For those of you that don't know, if you press A on the keyboard over an enemy target, it will cause your minions to prioritize them, or over the ground, it will cause them to run to that point. Which is what I'm doing to get them to prioritize ahead so that they take less damage from the spires. Might be worth crafting on. Yeah, like, you know, YMCA. Yeah. Like, no do to boot today. Actually, it's a different A, but still. Which button? A button? Actual Typhoon coming in hot with all the helpful hints. Yes, G brings up the game guide that has a ton of awesome info on different things and links to other awesome things. So if you want to learn more about how things interact with each other and the game, that's a fantastic place to do it. Oh, I got the full set now. Okay, I really want to find some good boots. I want those boots to be this. Also, this is a cool trick that I don't know if many of you know as well. If you alt-tab the game with a tooltip open, the tooltip will stay there. So I just alt-tabbed because the game lost focus. I can take a screenshot real easily. No, don't delete filter. That would be bad. We're going to recolor it. We're going to make it pink. Pink. It's pretty. It's going to be boots. Armor boots. Subtype. I don't know if we're going to specify a subtype, but like, maybe we could. I'd be happy with either of these. Or that. I want one of those. Okay. And they're going to have a whole bunch of affixes on it. It's going to have health. Have some form of that health stuff. Minion damage can be on boots? Really? We don't actually do a lot of physical. Sure, we'll slap that. I don't know if all these can actually be on boots. I don't know why, but I part of me is just like, I don't know if they can. Move speed. Advanced options. At least 4 of those affixes. Greater than or equal to each one 2. All collectively greater than or equal to 10. It's 12. We'll be picky. Is it the same recolor there? No, it's a different recolor. Pick a different color. Pick this weird yellow-green thing. Cool. Do our boots meet that? Our boots do meet that. Maybe I should look into the new loot filter being easier for noobs. Yeah, I probably should, because I struggled real hard there for a second, didn't I? Ooh. This sword I think is gonna be actually useful. Let's craft it. Let's do a crafting interlude. Let's see what we get. We're gonna have some fun. We're gonna slap this in here. this way. Oh, ho, ho. Yeah, I'll take it. All right, what's the last thing that goes on here? Frailty? Oops. I think it's frailty chance. It's the right choice here, isn't it? I think it is. Yep. All right. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's a high implicit roll. It's a high T6 roll. Dev tools are not enabled. I feel like I should put that somewhere that I won't lose it. Call it actually good stuff. It's hard to read. It's even harder to read. There you go. Got lucky there. Should I have done armor shred? Probably should have done armor shred. Yeah, like getting the filter to be simpler and still have all the options is really tough. We're trying to. We keep getting requests to add new things in, and it's hard to get it just right. And I think better tools for sharing filters is honestly might be the easiest way to go to actually make it easier for newer players. What's on the agenda for this stream? Not much. I kind of just hang out every week and play and answer questions. I've usually got some sort of little like teaser spooled up in the tank. Go for a couple hours. We're about halfway through right now. Any 8.3 leaks? Sure, we can do some 8.3 leaks. I will do 8.3 leaks as soon as this finishes. I don't have much for you this week, I'm sorry guys, but I got something little. I'm surprised there's not more questions about multi-strike and void cleave, to be honest. I guess void cleave was a week and a half ago or something, but there's a new controller-related quality of life post coming out. I don't know when that'll be out, but it should be out pretty soon. We just lined up all the videos for it. How did you guys come up with the endurance mechanic? It wasn't that long ago. I should be able to remember this meeting. It's funny. The endurance mechanic has actually been in the game for years. Not quite so explicitly, but it has been. It's been hanging out in the background for a very long time. It was just hidden before, and there wasn't a way to scale it or interact with it. And it's something that Trisoki came up with. I don't know how long ago, a long time ago. And it was, so I guess like the whole thing about it is, it feels really good when you're in a fight and you almost die, but don't actually die. And I know I said this lots, where you're like, oh, I got left on a sliver of health, and it's really exciting, and you come back from it and you win the fight, and it's really cool and fun, and there's a story to tell afterwards. And so I guess to facilitate that happening more, we added in endurance as this hidden mechanic that would kind of save you from dying every once in a while when you probably should have died. And we got asked to add in more one-shot prevention mechanics by a lot of people, and we're like, I guess we could just formalize the mechanic and like give it a name and all these sorts of things, and have better theming for it and all that sort of stuff, and make it like affixes and be interactable, and yeah. Did I skip and just go to the next one? I'm sorry. I will show you the video after this one. Why aren't 0 to 9 keybinds? Can you not use 0 to 9 as keybinds if you want? Like you can, oh I know you can use 1 because that's potion by default. I think we don't use 0 through 9 by default because it's a little further away, and there's not really necessity for that many hotkeys. So you get to the point where you need, like, some buttons almost never get the hotkeys used, or like people will use the menu anyways. If you haven't noticed, tilde is my inventory opening button, so if I almost die, quite often my inventory pops open, and that's why. So I just slam my finger up to the top left corner and it hits my inventory too. Oh, number of skills. Yeah. Part of having the skill trees in the game means that we kind of need to like, I guess, in order to make each one of the skills feel really special and be able to have a lot of things going on with them, while still being digestible and approachable, we kind of need to limit the access people have to them. So I can never remember this map. Is it around this way or around the bottom? If you had access to 10 skills to put on your bar simultaneously that each had one of those skill trees, theory crafting a skill becomes an exponentially larger task, because the number of nodes you have to account for becomes absolutely colossal. When there's only 5 trees, I guess it's just half, but still, the number of possible combinations drops by an absurd amount. Like the number of possible combinations you get by adding to a list of possible things, okay, here's a really bad example. If you have cards, 3 different cards, there's very few number of ways that you can arrange them. So like, you can arrange them this way, you can arrange them this way, you can arrange them this way. There's not really that many different ways you can arrange it, but then you add in a 4th card, and suddenly the number of ways you can arrange it jumps up a lot. Every time you add in a new card, it multiplies the number of ways you can arrange it. And so, if we add in more skills to be selectable, it multiplies the number of combinations you can have by the number of nodes in each tree, basically, which is roughly 30. And it's actually way more than that, because it's the number of combinations you can have in that tree, which is a huge number as well. So it just becomes so immensely massive, the amount of combinations that exist, that it makes building a character a lot more daunting and less able to kind of just throw something together and hope it works at least somewhat. One thing we're quite happy with is that most people can... I could have just killed them. Most people can get through the campaign and early monoliths, and possibly even into some of empowered monoliths, without following a build guide. I know many people have gotten through empowered monoliths without following a build guide at all, just because maybe they have experience in RPGs, or they get lucky and pick something that ends up being really overpowered. That happens too, or they're just smart, you know. Like there's lots of different ways that you can end up in that situation, and I think that containing the number of options a little bit means that there's room for experimentation to get things wrong a little bit and still be able to have something that's successful. And then on top of that, there's a great, I can't remember where the line was, but at some point someone said it always stuck with me, and it was like restrictions breeds creativity. And I think it's really cool. So like I picked up Magic cards randomly a few times this stream. You can tell I play Magic. Quite often when I'm building a deck, I will put really absurd restrictions on myself. There's a deck behind me that every single card in the deck has an, like, yeah, if you don't play Magic, cards have a cost to cast them. It's like a mana cost. Kind of literally is a mana cost, actually. But anyways, every card in the deck, the mana cost is an odd number. So there's no cards that are 0, except for lands, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. And it makes it really... Actually, I just took this deck apart yesterday. Never mind, I don't have this deck anymore. Anyways, the point is, it makes you look at building the deck in a completely different way because there's a sort of arbitrary restriction on it. And I think it's a lot more fun, personally. Avalanche, what'd I tell you? Last time someone asked me what the most dangerous skill in the game was, and I said Avalanche. God damn. So sometimes having those restrictions, and that restriction in this case is 5 skills, I think actually helps make more varied and more interesting builds. If everyone had access to 10 skills, literally every single person would put transplant on their bar. Literally everyone would. Like, at 10, that's 100%. It's already close to 100%, which is not a great thing in general, but still. You'd get a lot more of those skills that were just auto-includes. Like, I'm sure everyone would take Summon Skeleton. You know, like, if you were, like, building up your one skill to use as your main damage nuke, but you're like, I can also have 10 minions following me just because? Sweet! Even if they suck and they just soak up random projectiles here and there? Sweet! Kind of lost what the question was, but I hope I answered it well. Have I ever considered increasing the level of skills could reach, or 20 is strictly the maximum? We have. We really like the number 20. It's the exact same argument that I just went through. I like copy and paste everything I just said. Exactly the same. Having restrictions here means that you have to make conscious decisions of which thing I want to take, and it's not overwhelming. So, being able to figure out which 20 points you want to take here is a lot easier than if we were to say, here's 30 points, but we're also going to increase the number of nodes here to 45 from 30. And it suddenly becomes a little overwhelming. We experimented with this with Summon Skeleton, actually. These two trees used to be the same tree. They used to be combined into one. And it was by far the biggest tree we had in the game, and we tested it out. We actually considered multiple, more skill points at a few points, but 20 feels like a really nice round number. Like, you have 5 times 20 is 100, you're level 100. It's like, it's all just really nice and round, but then it also kind of feels in this nice sweet spot where it's not overwhelming. And you're still having to make trade-offs. We want, every single time you build a skill tree, we want you to be sitting there going, oh my god, I wish I had 2 more points. Every single time, no matter what, we want you to say, I just want 2 more points. Because that means that the skill tree is really interesting and is there's more cool stuff, and you're having to make decisions on what you want and what you're sacrificing to get what you want. And that's a really positive interaction, I think. And I think most people on the team would agree with me. Yeah. And I think recently there was some videos that were released, some tier list videos. I think it was Boardman and Lone Star that were making them, but I'm so sorry if it was someone else. I only actually watched a small percentage of those videos. Wish I had time to watch more, guys. I do. Whoever it was making them. But they made some really good points that I watched a couple clips of. Was that there were Boardman and Lizard. Sorry, Lizard. There was really good points they were making. Yeah, you're right. I can see Lizard's face now. In that there were several trees that were really only buildable in one way. And it was like, it's a really good skill, but you just always build it this exact same way. And it's not really, you're not really left saying like, oh, where am I going to, like, I want a couple more nodes for these points, or that there's tough decisions to make. And especially in the Acolyte Necromancer trees that we're reworking, we made some changes specifically to address some of those concerns. And also with new trees coming in and changes to old trees happening in the Sentinel this patch as well. That, like, we're trying to address things in that in those stuff. I don't know, those cases. Also, we with response to wanting a little bit more. Do I have any items that even have it? I'm sure I do. It's not strictly a maximum because there are items that I swear I've got one. Just gonna make one at this point. So you can have items that have affixes that give you +1 to a specific tree. So right now, if my Infernal Shade was level 20 and I equip this, it would actually be level 21 and I have an extra point. So it's not a strict hard cap. It probably would have been a good one to craft on, actually. And I didn't forget. Yep. Dead Duck Ergo. I did not forget. Okay, so I think I've shown you this one before. So this is a new VFX rework for Static Orb coming that I think you guys have seen. Feels great. There's also a big functional rework that happens in this as well. As you can see, it's a lot faster. It's more about the explosion at the end. We changed a bunch of stuff in the tree too. It's great. And then there's a conversion now that happens in there that didn't happen before. Can anyone guess what conversion it now has? Ergo, you are absolutely right. Here is the VFX for cold conversion. It looks pretty cool. I like it. Coming straight from our VFX lead, Sam, who I really want to have on the stream at some point. We're going to keep going. I am a Static Orb main now. It's a lot more fun. Static Orb was lacking. It was not fantastic. Like, it had its moments where it was good, and like, I don't know, it just never felt fantastic to play with, and it never really filled the role that it was supposed to fill. Snap Freeze kind of took over that role partway through. I don't know if you guys remember, but when Snap Freeze came in, it sort of ended up, it actually took the Static Orb spot in the leveling order. Because we literally replaced it, but kept them both. I love this room. If you're squeamish, not a great room. Spiteful Ice Goliath of the Lizard. You guys thought about adding socketing to the game later stages? If yes, what kinds of gems do you have in mind? Thank you very much to Cynical Squid TV. I got there. Welcome for the Twitch Prime sub. Much appreciated. Socketing. Yeah, so we get the socketing question every once in a while. A standard socketing system with gems like I'm gonna use the Diablo's. Like, let's ignore PoE socketing system for a second because it's very different from most of them. But like a Diablo style socketing system where you are like there's an item has like an affix slot is a socket, and or maybe it's just inherent to the item. And you can take a gem that has certain properties, or a jewel, or a rune, something that has certain properties that are affixes effectively, and sticking that into the item in a combining them to make it as an item with more affixes, right? Like that's a standard socketing system. So is this. That is almost exactly the description of our crafting system. Because I gotta stop being so aggressive with my transplants. Because they're so similar, we kind of have to do a socketing system a little bit differently, get a little creative with it, and we've come up with a few different variants of what we want it to be like. And I think it's likely that you won't see a socketing system in Epoch at 1.0. But you will see a socketing system in Epoch at some point. That's sort of my speculation on it. Just because I think it's really good for us to like leave room for expansion of content and systems like that. So having places that we know we can expand into later, I think is really useful. And I think that would be a good place to have that. Don't know if it's only me, but this blood room drops my FPS to like 5. Yeah, we've got that report from quite a few people. Personally, I have no idea why it happens. But I have heard that before. Someone smarter than me probably knows, though. As a new player, how can I help out with the development of the game? Great question. There's lots of ways that players can help out, and lots of ways that players do help out. And some of them might seem kind of obvious, but or maybe not obvious, but like, does that really help? And the first one is just playing the game helps, which... Yeah, once again, I know it seems weird, but like stats for the number of people playing is visible, and it's something that people gauge whether or not they want to buy a game. Like, how active is it? So just having more people playing helps get more people playing. Creating or responding to content creators on their platform. So like when someone makes a video and you watch it and you get a build guide from them, like their videos, comment on their videos. Like engage with the community in different ways. So like coming onto our forums, on Discord, just like talking to people and being cool, and like really helps for sure. And then there's like more active ways, like making third-party content. So like making YouTube videos, making build guides, streaming the game. All those things help immensely. And then there's even more direct ways, like you can support the game financially through buying higher tier supporter packs. Yeah, lots of ways that you can support the game. I forgot the most important one, probably just leaving good quality feedback. And by good quality feedback, I don't mean positive feedback. It can be positive, but it doesn't need to be positive. So things like leaving a post on the forum that says something along the lines of, when are you going to fix skeletons? Is not good feedback. because it doesn't really help us figure out why you don't like skeletons and what we can do to fix them. But rather, if the feedback says, like, when I'm doing this, this is what happens to me, and it makes me feel like this. And that's a much more helpful feedback. All of those things help us a ton. Whoever that was, I'm sorry, I didn't actually see what I don't think it was pinged, but whoever I was asking me that question, great question, and I hope that gave you ways that you can help development, if you want, which we always appreciate. Please release Endgame and all other content. Okay. Beep, boop, 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 beep, boop, boop. You should have it. Do you have it? Something must have went wrong. Figure it out later. I'm really enjoying Empowered with this build a lot. It is much more difficult than non-empowered was all of a sudden, which is lovely. I'm really hoping to find a pair of boots to work with here. That lime green drop. Dark Swift 333. Hello, how you doing? Hey Mike, so I heard on Reddit that you were once a camp counselor. I'm just here to say I knew you looked familiar. If I ever was a camp counselor at a camp that you went to, I'd be really shocked. But, cool. It is possible. It's been a long time. Been a long time. But yes, I sorry if I implied I wasn't. I was at one point a camp counselor. It was a ton of fun. I loved it. It was like an outdoor camp, like kayaking, canoeing, archery, swimming, rock climbing, arts and crafts, orienteering, hiking, camping. Tons of fun. Resist necrotic damage. Good thing I have 3 types of damage I deal. Whew, whew, whew. So let's cut to the chase. When can we go camping and I can show you the Amish ways? We can build a lodge in an afternoon. I should have expected the follow up from that. I'm sorry. I don't know why I didn't. That's nice. Huh? It's cool, but I don't do a lot of necrotic spell damage myself. What is the reason for this stream announcement? Like, it was posted in news probably? No. Are you talking about just like our shout out channel? Did it get me starting it? It did. Oh, it does say it. Yeah, there it is, me. It's just so if you're talking about the auto couch bot, It's just so people can see when people are streaming our game. Any plans of changing how Arena behaves in Monolith of Fate? It can be really punishing for slower killing builds. We've been talking about having it a little bit more clear what an arena is. So you may not have noticed it, but the name of the zone actually does say arena. So if you have a build that like really can't handle arena zones in the Monolith, you can avoid them. You don't have to do them. We've been getting feedback that it's tricky to know that you're in an arena zone right away. And it comes as a surprise. You can be partway through and then realize you're in an arena. We plan on having that be a lot more obvious when you enter an arena that you are in one. And having a counter that shows the wave counter is important, we think, too. So there's a few nice little UI quality stuff that we're doing to make it a little bit better in the arena. But if your build really can't handle it, there's a way around it. You don't have to do them. Oh, just asking for the reason of the stream in general. Ah, I see. I'm sorry. Yeah, I do this every week. It's just I play the game and people ask me questions. That's it. We don't really announce huge things. I usually try and bring a little leak here and there just so that there's something new for everyone each week. I don't always come through, and I'm sorry for the weeks that I failed you. But yeah, I try and give little tidbits, and usually it's stuff that we're planning on showing on socials later that week. Anyways, so people who want to see stuff early can. Pop, pop, pop. Ugh. Avalanche, I'm telling you. So strong. Too strong. Are you going to add multiple endgame bosses with specific loots? I mean, we do have multiple endgame bosses with specific loot. Each timeline has each timeline I would consider an endgame boss that has specific loot. We are adding more stuff all the time. This next patch doesn't have any new timelines coming. I don't know if there's much major happening to the Monolith this patch. A bunch of little stuff, I think, just as always. Is it possible to spawn the next wave as soon as the last enemy dies? I mean, it should do that by default? Oh, you mean so it doesn't, like, spawn the next wave before the last enemy dies to punish you for going really slow? I see what you're saying. Yeah, it has, like, I guess a soft and rage timer, I think, on it kind of system. I have this strange bug that occurs on my rogue. So when the game starts to run poorly, the eyes is not there. So when the game starts to run poorly on occasions, my shift locks in starting animation, and it won't finish animation until I release the button. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what that is. I'm sorry. I do not have a quick fix for you. Serious question. Do I believe you? Do I read along? I was looking on something and found a few 11th hour contractors who made the assets. I don't know what star is. Do you have a profile on there? Also, can I add you on LinkedIn? I'm the bald white guy who is spying on your LinkedIn, last name similar to a cowboy. I have not turned on LinkedIn in months. I don't think. I probably should keep up with it more. Ooh, spicy. Ooh. I don't really even know where my ward generation's coming from. I think it's just coming from stuff dying. But I feel like it's saving my butt right now. I really want new boots. Look at these shoes. They're so drab. Get a nice pair of pumps from Italy or something. Pass through Milan. All right. Probably need to set up more specific items to be looking for all sorts of pieces of gears. Like, should probably be looking for a way to bump this up too. 3545. Yeah, that's pretty good actually. Way overcapped on fire. I should be looking for a place to drop some fire res and pick up something else good. Don't crush the dreams of a middle-aged man with 4 kids who has a shrine of Mike in his house. We have an Amish sect called Mikeism. Thou shalt create and polish. Love it. Neighbor just walked past and startled me. Yeah, double ice beetle, let's go! Let's go. Do you think the highest tiers of play should be balanced around having capped all res, endurance, and crit avoidance? No. I think endurance is I would say a mechanic that's more akin to ward, in that probably not every single class needs to have it be a primary defense mechanic. So like, for example, primalists don't typically use ward as a primary defense mechanic, but acolytes do. And I think that primalists do more typically use endurance as a primary defense mechanic, whereas acolytes don't. It's not always true, but I don't think having, or at least we try not to have endurance be a primary defense mechanic, partially because it doesn't interact with ward well, is kind of how we do that. Ooh. Like low life lich builds, endurance is kind of useless. Like 80% damage reduction on 4 health is not a lot of damage reduction, you know? Like, even if it could be that, like, it's still not going to save your butt if you're taking 500 damage to health. We are walking the wrong way. The patrols always walk in one direction. Go. Capped resistances, though, typically yes. Sorry. I would say capping resistances is the... And there's always exceptions to rules and things like that, but I think capped resistances is a general requirement that makes sense to have. Ooh. What we got here? Kind of a mixed bag of crip crap. Yeah. All right. Show us some, I think, leaked info. Yeah. Turn on the multiplayer on stream. Come on, it's me. It would take me longer than... Oh! Wow! What is... Okay. It would take me longer than's left in the stream to get into multiplayer because I have to re-download the game. Because it's on a different Steam branch. But you know, otherwise I totally would. A bizarre screenshot. I do not have a bizarre screenshot to give you. Mostly because it's not finished. If there's only one way to have two branches on one computer. Yeah, I could have two of them, you're right. That's the thing is, like, I don't actually switch that often, like on my Steam version. My Steam version usually just sticks on the non-multiplayer one, because most of the time I'm only actually accessing Epoch through Steam for the streams, and I'm usually accessing it through the editor for working on it and testing multiplayer stuff. It's just when we have like a bigger group-wide multiplayer test that we use Steam with like a deployed build and everything. This is madness. We are taking minion health and minion defense in our next every passive we have left. I got so used to not using Dreadshade that I'm not using it enough, and I think that's a big part of the downfall in my gameplay right now. Do we have a target number of time for players to be spending in each echo? 3 to 4 minutes feels about right. Yeah. I think that's roughly about right. It depends on the echo type. So there's some echo types that we've got planned that might be a little bit longer every once in a while. And part of the reason for that is just having variety is good. Does Dreadshade targeting prioritize non-temporary minions? I wonder. It should if it doesn't. I finished this timeline already. Didn't even notice. Is there a plan to make the training dummies count as an enemy so it's possible to test things on it that won't target it otherwise? Part of the problem with making it an enemy is that minions will then just race to it in neutral zones. So if we were to do that, it would be probably a more controlled situation where it was like in like a separate zone. I know we've considered that. What's y'all's standing on unarmed melee combat? So punches and maybe kicks, or would you make fist weapons? If we were going to make that more of an archetype, we would make fist weapons. You can talk to Jay, who's in our Discord. Sometimes he's in here. We had a long conversation where we tried to make it happen for him because he really wanted a fist weapon because he was designing a unique. And it just didn't really work right. I think it's if we add it, and it's not something that we're against adding. If we were going to add it, we'd want to add it as its own base type and have it be a fist weapons likely, and have a class that really aligns with it and focuses on it more. So like a lot of things we've left out weapon archetypes that are, some might say, glaring omissions, but they're very intentionally left out because there are I guess it's kind of a similar thing we said a little while ago about the sockets having room to grow. Well, we got a big raiding party coming in. Bender meets Fry. Nice. It's a good name. I like that. Welcome all 150 for you. Glad to have you with us. We are like so close to the end of the stream. I might stretch a little bit, just because we got some more people here. Usually, I run for 2 hours, starting an hour and 48 minutes ago. But we got a bunch of new people in here. If this is your first time in the stream, I play our game and I answer questions about it. So if you have any questions for me, hit me with an @LastEpochGame and I will see it and try and answer the question for you. If you're seeing this above my head, we do all of our streaming is for charity. 100% of the prefab proceeds. Prefabs are types of objects in Unity. 100% of the proceeds go to the charity. This month we do a new charity every month. It's the last day for this one. It is the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention right now, and will be new next week. Blurb over. Glad to have you all with us. Yeah, if you have any questions, please pop them down in chat. Looks like PoE. It is very similar to PoE because it is the same genre. It's funny. A few times some of my friends have asked me if I like get frustrated with comparisons to PoE, and like they like to goad me and joke around, and like it's really all in good fun. And like sometimes when they'll say things like, "Oh, it's just a Diablo clone. It's so similar to Diablo," and I'm like, "You mean it's like one of my favorite games ever? You jerk." Oh, that was close. So yes, it is. There's a lot of similarities. We try and make things that are unique to our game and keep it fresh, and so we have fun new ways, new design spaces to access that some other games don't have because of like design decisions cascade for sure. One of the things we do that sets us apart a lot is every single skill has a skill tree that goes with it, and that skill tree is unique to that skill, and it affects how it works. So if you're coming from PoE, I don't know, the person who rated me, Bender Meets Fry, I normally run PoE, if you were just running that or not, I'm not sure. But yeah, every single one of our skills has that. We are class locked, so skills are specific for each class. So this is the Acolyte, and it has specific skills, and the Sentinel has different skills, and the Mage has different skills. D2 LOD speedrunner. Awesome. Oh, that's great. Well, okay, so I can talk about things Diablo 2 style then, which is way easier for me to do than talking about things PoE style. Because I have played thousands of hours more of Diablo 2 than PoE. Dad, if you're still watching, I swear I went to bed. Don't worry. It's a lie. Remember getting a computer when I was a kid and like staying up way later than I ever should have. Like setting an alarm to wake up at 3 a.m. to play in the middle of the night. It was like a Celeron 500 or something, or 533 processor. Yeah, it's 533 megahertz. I remember it had I had 2 hard drives in it. It was like salvaged. I was fixing people's computers as a kid, like learning how, and I was taking like salvaged parts from computers to build my own. And it was this it had 2 hard drives. One of them was a 500 megabyte hard drive, like a full-size platter drive, and the other one was like a 200 megabyte hard drive. It was just like terrible. Okay, well, our family had a 486 as the first family computer, but my first computer that was mine was a Celeron. Actually, our first family computer was a Commodore 64. And I did my first programming project on it in grade 7 as a self-directed studies, and I made a balloon fly across the screen on a Commodore 64, which was in, like, how to do it was in, like, the manual. So really I just copied, like, a ton of lines of code. I think I changed the color of it or something, you know? What are the difficulties here? There's we don't have like normal Nightmare Hell. It's just don't take your hands off your keyboard. Pro tip number 1. There's one difficulty for the campaign. And then our endgame system, primary endgame system right now, is called the Monolith of Fate. So there's these different islands, and each one of these islands has an individual thematic set of is a timeline that has different echoes on it that you can do. So this is one of those timeline islands, and you start in the center and you complete an echo, which is the thing I just did, and it unlocks more. And it branches out and branches out and branches out, and it gets harder and harder and harder as you go. Once you've completed the final 3 of them, these 3 back here, it unlocks hard mode on each one of them. So there's normal monoliths and empowered monoliths. And so I guess that's like the normal and hell version of it. And I've just started the easiest monolith on empowered mode, and it's kind of kicking my butt. It's not horrible. And so yeah, each one of these islands has it has a set bonus. So the reward on this one is I'm going to get a bunch of experience and then timeline stability. And so you can see at the top here, this bar at the top, as it fills up, and you can see the green is the chunk I'm going to get from doing this one. These quest echoes unlock, and as I complete the quest echoes, they will I'll fight the boss on the 3rd one, and it's a very difficult fight, and there's a guaranteed unique from a pool of uniques that you get out of it. And then there's also, because I'm in the empowered version, there's this other thing called corruption. And so this is sort of like the endlessly scaling part of it, where you can it just gets harder and harder and harder. So you can fight. You know what I could do? I could fight Shade of Orbis right now. There's certain echoes here that you fight the Shade of Orbis, which is like a proxy for one of the prime evils of the game, Orbis. And when you do this, it resets everything and increases or decreases your corruption. I could cap it off by trying to fight Orbis. +5 corruption won't do much. Let's do it. See what happens. We're gonna fight Orbis. Will there be a Trapper playstyle by release, or would that be a future thing? Maybe. We'll see. So this is a really cool boss fight. There's 6 variants of the like theming of the boss. So this is the fire theming one, and it gets, I think, 1 specific attack based on the theming, and then 2 or 3 other random attacks based on just chance. And it's from a pretty large pool of possible abilities. So like the fight is rarely the same twice in a row. You're gonna face different abilities each time. Oof. Oh, I lost a lot of minions there. Going down. And so there's a pool of uniques that come from this as well. The ring is the easiest one. We're changing up how this works a little bit as well, I think. Not much. But it's a pretty sweet ring, though.
Oh, spicy.
Yeah, it's spicy. I'll be honest, that went significantly better than I expected. And if you are coming from watching Diablo 2, these are charms. So there's a fixed charm inventory, we call them idols, and they have different shapes that they can be, similar to Diablo 2. There's also 4x4s that can happen, and you kind of have to fit them in this specific inventory for them, which I think was the it works in Diablo 2 because there's that whole theming of like it's kind of you against the world, and it's an oppressive world, and there's that whole theming is there. But the thing that I'm talking about that kind of works there is where you're sacrificing inventory space for power. But we didn't really think that fit as well with our game, so we gave it their own inventory. Oh. I just about got popped on my first time out. My dad was watching. Yep, there's an alarm in the middle of the night. Dad, you even gave me the watch that I used for it. Avalanche, I swear to God. Overcapped on cold res and still just pummels. We need more armor. Would definitely help. Armor works for all hit damage really well. Physical more so than anything, but it does work for all hit damage. I think this way will be faster. Are potions still a thing? Yeah. Our potion system is really, there's not a ton to it. It's fairly straightforward. We wanted to avoid having, like a reliance on using a lot of potions frequently. Keeping the potion system fairly straightforward and making it so that you can use it as an emergency heal on any class. If there are potion augments, usually they're attached to the belt. So affixes that say like you get something when you use a potion or your potions are better, it's usually attached to the belt. Sometimes certain uniques have them as well. And the number of potions you can hold, the slots potion slots you have, is directly linked to your belt. So every belt has an implicit of the number of potions it can hold. This one's 4. 4 is about average. I think it's like 2 to 5, with the exception being 9, which is the Jungle Queen's Belt of Holding, or Jungle Queen Chaps of Holding. Which, if anyone here likes to watch Diablo 2 related streams, they may know what that references to, which is certain Diablo, ex-Diablo developer, Vfx Diablo developer, his wife, who was playing our game and was basically, she was like, I want more potions. She just like kept saying she wanted more potions, and we're like, okay, sure. And so we made a belt that has a ton of potion slots for her. I am talking about David Brevik, by the way. In case anyone missed that. Who was very cool in every interaction we've had with him. Like they say, don't meet your heroes, but sometimes they turn out to be really awesome. Potion seller, I need your strongest potions. You can't handle them. I'm not going to do the whole thing. I play his solo project, Interlude's below. It's a lot of fun. Mix of Cherry and D2. Oh yeah, I got so close to beating it, and things just picked up with Epoch to the point where I just didn't really have time to play other stuff. But ton of fun, yeah. If you've never heard of It Lurks Below, highly recommend checking it out. He did everything on that game from scratch, which was really cool. Oh, wow! Jeez. Ooh, we are in over our head. I can feel it. Regroup! Regroup! Oh my god. Oh, yeah. No. Yeah. That was an oh no moment, for sure. Oh, Reimer, welcome. I take it the test is over. It's been 2 hours, so likely, yeah. I haven't died in like 3 or 4 streams at least, I don't think. But I can feel it coming. You know when you're just like, everything's just coming so close and you're just struggling to hold on. And you're fighting a boss and you don't really realize it apart from the fact you can see the VFX and recognize that. Whew. When do we get Warlock? Unfortunately, not anytime immediately soon. So not this patch, not next patch, I can tell you that. Craft bro? I don't have much to craft on. I need some better bases. I feel like I've got a better version of this I can do though. Okay. We are looking for... yeah, bases that are that, but not mana. Cast speed that much. I mean, if we can remove the frailty off that. Yeah. Pop the mana off that, maybe. Yeah. We need, like, I really want int and minion damage on there. But the int might not be bad to go without. Let's see. Oh, we could do level of skeleton mage, actually. Okay. Hey, we'll take it. So if anyone new is here, what's happening is you can basically put anything you want onto items that can have those affixes in those slots, but there's a chance that it will fracture and become unusable in some cases. I'm getting unbelievably lucky. This is insane. What is going on here? What just happened? The last one? Okay, fine. What is going on? Like, I think we gotta use it, right? Oh my god. That's insane. Bloody brilliant. Bloody brilliant. I'll take it. The odds of that happening are very low. Very low. Like, we don't have some sort of weird bug going on, do we? Okay, it fractured. Okay, good. Just making sure it was possible still, guys. Cool. Yeah, let's do. We'll run one more with our new idle slot or relic slot, and we want more health. Oh my god, guys, this is reduced minion health. I don't know why I thought it was increased minion health. Tyrant makes so much sense. I mean, we probably just want those right now. 15, yeah, just flat minion health. It's a big one. I think I need to stricten up my loot filter a little bit. That's right, stricten, it's a word. Yeah, remember I had some leaks, you missed them. We showed off the cold conversion of Static Orb. Here, I'll show it again. So this is... Oh, it's all in the wrong spot. That's weird. It's showing both of them. What's going on? I don't know what I did. It is really weird. This is new Static Orb. And then we've got a new conversion for it for cold Static Orb. I don't know how they moved, but apparently they did. Yeah, these are mage skills. Yeah. So lots of skills in our. Oh yeah, because we got the new relic, we can now have 2 more points in our skeleton mage tree. I mean, attacking cast speed is just classic. Crit move speed, fantastic. Crit multi. I don't think we want the Death Knights. Yeah, I think just the base spell damage will actually increase damage the most. Yeah, so mage, that skill was for mage. And it's already a skill in the game, but it's getting revamped to be much more active, a little bit more aggressive, much faster moving. And have a bigger AoE effect by base, and then there was also the cold conversion for it. Most skills have some sort of transformative way to change the core functionality in some way, whether it's like just changing the element or something more dramatic. So for example, the mages, like I've turned them into frost mages, it's an element conversion, but the skeletons, you can convert them into like skeleton rogues, so they get different abilities and behave differently. You can get rid of the archers completely from your arsenal. We've got a 3rd month sub. Heavy has subbed 3 months in a row. Fantastic. That's one of our, if not the first 3-month sub. Thank you very much, bud. Is the sub goal tracker actually going up? It's like it's hard to see and it's small. It doesn't look like it's actually increasing. I don't know if it did this stream or not. Anything to share about multi-strike, a skill? I can talk about multi-strike if you want. What do you guys want to know about multi-strike? We teased it last week. It is a 0-cost skill. It's a spammable melee sentinel skill that will be focused pretty heavily on hitting lots of targets. So I think someone pointed it out in Discord, I think, and the pretty heavy inspiration for it. Harden again. He does not like us. The pretty heavy inspiration for it is Zeal from D2. It's that style of gameplay where you're meleeing all these things that are around you is sort of the feel we're going for with it. It does have distinct hits on each target, and it ramps up. So it starts off, the first attack you do is effectively just a basic melee attack. Boots could be worth crafting on. Starts off as just a basic melee attack, but then as you attack, you can tell in the clips we did, it starts hitting more things around you, and that ramps up. Oh, I think we showed the description of it actually. So yeah, the way it works is every time you attack and hit with that attack, you get a stack of a buff called Armament that then your next attack also attacks something near you for each stack of armament you have. So if you have 3 stacks of armament and you do a melee attack with 4 enemies nearby, it's going to melee attack all 4 of those enemies. And then the tree has a lot of things that play off of the number of stacks, building them up faster, consuming them, refreshing them, scaling based on the number you have, adding more, removing some, things like that. There's interactions with other skills, like if you have so many stacks, and then when you use another skill, it does something based on the number of stacks, and things like that. So I think it's going to be a really active skill. That's, as far as the zero-cost spammers go, is going to have pretty good AoE and pretty good ailment applications for multi-targets. And there are ways in the tree to make it better for single target, but I wouldn't say where it shines initially. Whoa! Heavy coming in hot. Got 10 gifted subs from Heavy. Congrats to everyone who got one of those. Thank you very much, sir. Way to go. All right. We're almost done for the week here. Is there a noted multi-strike that allows you to hit the same enemy more than once? Yes, there is. I think it was spoiled, actually. I'm pretty sure that was in the forum post for it. I could be wrong. Argalos the Blessed. Argalos. Oh, that's a nice base. Is Mox here? Did someone see him? Mox got gifted a sub. So the reason that's funny, MoxJet200 in chat, is the game director. Sub to your own channel. Good job. I'm getting the hang of this for empowered monoliths a lot better than I was a little while ago. Walking into a wall there, super strong strat. That's how you do it. Oh, you don't need to be present to receive a sub. That's interesting. How does that? If you're like following the channel, can you get it? Or just like, or if he's just, he has to be like have the tab open at least, doesn't he? Got people coming back from a multiplayer test in chat right now. I'm not paying attention to where I'm going at all. I'm kind of wondering if I should trade out Dreadshade for something, but it's so strong for damage when I actually need to pump out some deeps. But like I've been sitting here thinking about Bone Golem for a while now as an option to just like just get another body in front that's just beefy. I keep seeing my little mini pet following me, just trying to keep up. Fly, fly, fly. They do speed up when they're further away. Ooh. Here it is. We're just going right for it. Let's go. Was it a mistake? We'll find out. Ooh, what's this? Eh. Eh. Yay! We did it! Woohoo! Well, we're quite a bit past time here. I think I might call it a night, call it a day, call it a morning, call it whatever you want, wherever you are. One more leak. I don't have anything lined up, guys. We've got plans to do stuff with other things that will affect the one thing that I said was going to be something we affected the stuff last time. I don't know, that's probably true. Just like trying to look at stuff, see if there's anything that's like... Been working on the new revamp of the character sheet. Looks great. It's wireframed out already. Just finished bug fixing Abyssal Echoes rework. It's pretty great. I don't really have anything I can show you guys. I'm sorry. One of these cards is a swamp. Yeah. One of these cards is a swamp. All right. And on that note, I think it's time to end. Where's my Streamlabs? There it is. Thank you all for coming out. I had a wonderful time. I hope you did too. That's all for today.